Did you just destroy another universe? Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, and we're back with another episode of Gnosia. We come back as we normally do with notes, comments, and a board. So let's go ahead and look at that board real quick. Where I marked Comet as frozen, because I guess I forgot to last time. And then I marked Remnant as the last Gnosia, and Gina as the Doctor. If I forgot to, I should have marked Remnant as frozen as well. It's not on the board changelog, so I'm assuming I still have to do that. It's a very short board changelog because the entirety of the episode was figuring out after Rockio who the last Gnosia would be. So, on to notes then. I think the thing to remember is that despite the fact that we've done loop after loop after loop of this, unless more people are lying about being aware of the loops or multiple timelines, this is everyone's first time doing this. Meaning, when someone suddenly becomes Sherlock Holmes, they were always that way. More importantly, when the concept of the AC follower is introduced, it was information everyone always had, and just never brought up across all their countless first times. Can you imagine in previous loops trying to figure out if someone is lying or not, and everyone else is considering that there might just be a crazy person among them, and just never told you that that could be even possible until now? I mean, considering again that Yuri is supposed to be amnesiac, that sometimes doesn't seem that way, but it's always how they're introduced. Even Rockio brought it up this time around. I think the oddity of Rockio's plan is that they've initiated an anti-Gnosia confusion setup before the threat to the normal operation of gameplay became manifest. I mean, did Rockio figure out that an AC follower was on board without the hint Yuri got from Yuriko and decided to go along with it? Or did they throw Comet under the bus for just being a handicap and it worked out for their greater strategy later on? From what we've learned about Gnosia before, seeing someone you'd suspect is a Gnosia had previously voted for the confirmed Gnosia in previous rounds would immediately make me not suspect them. Yuri's "yeah, so what" defense is a hell of a play. I mean, you want to avoid getting labeled as the AC follower, but with no real path to victory, embracing the idea as its own defense is certainly a way to go. If we are looking for a Gnosia, calling me the AC follower isn't finding the Gnosia, and ultimately the AC follower has no abilities to harm anyone other than making things confusing. On top of which, there is only one current Gnosia accusation. Granted, Rockio's defense is rock solid in my book, but that still isn't a reason to vote out another human. I'm of mixed minds on Kukrushka. She's definitely out on a wire now. Defending Yuri has screwed her. Assuming the Gnosia wants to get rid of the only safety net that humans have, and they did. At the same time, we probably don't want a living Kakushra at the end of the loop, as they might just turn into the crazed murderer version of herself. With no idea how likely that possibility is, the ideal solution would be one where the Gnosia take her out, or she gets voted out before the end. In a way, this makes everything slightly more complicated than what I had previously considered. That being the situation where you figure out how to keep everyone alive while eliminating the Gnosia. Now we have to aim for eliminating specific non-Gnosia as well as the Gnosia before the end of the round to ensure that the most people survival. Sorry, I wrote down survival twice. I should say I wrote these notes at 3 a.m. and I'm also recording them around 3 a.m. So you get a double dose of how out of it can I be. If this mimics anything of Groundhog's Day, then I suspect that the final loop will involve Yuri sacrificing themselves as well. Setsu agreeing to put the meeting on hold is the most unsetsu thing I think I've seen in the entire run of the show so far. I remember when a show called Beelzebub first came out, and the dad in that show's power move was an extravagant groveling. It comes out of nowhere and has all the energy of Sha Ming or Yuri groveling in this show, just with the exaggerated air jump and sliding motions. I loved it back then, and I still love it now. I wish there was a way we could see the vote results all the time. They are so helpful, but they only get called up rarely. So it was Yuri, Setsu, SQ, Stella, Kushra, and Sha Ming that all voted for Rakio. Rakio, Chippy, Jonas, and Remnant all voted for Yuri, as we saw in the episode thing itself. Honestly, after finding out that Chippy was human, Jonas is so clearly the AC follower due to a number of things already discussed in previous episodes' notes that Remnant being the only one left makes this a no-thinking required call. I mean, choosing to lie about the evidence required some thought, though I likely wouldn't have even considered. But pointing the finger at Remnant at that point should be a no-brainer. This loop's entire trick was based on a spur-of-the-moment lucky guess made by two Gnosia at the same time. In hindsight, that is crazy. One, the lucky grab to take out the Doctor on Warp 1, and then what must have been an insane "what the hell are you doing" moment from Remnant to Rakio as they rolled the dice on, for what I think is only the second time, two Gnosia claiming to be the same role. It occurs to me, and I can't remember exactly which loop it was. There was a loop where what's the one where Comet and Yuri were both Gnosia, and Otomi is getting screwed over by them. Was that or was the one with Gina? It might have been Yuri wasn't a Gnosia and Gina was with Otomi, and they screwed over Otomi, and that's the one where Otomi like back. What are you doing? Backs up with the chair. Either way, again, I think this is the second time it's happened. I feel like the even humans lie every now and then was a "we're not so different, you and I" moment. It's a shame that it won't go anywhere, though. Despite the fact that Gnosia infected can be as civil and human as they want to be, when night comes, they still cyberize people regardless. My last note here, not sure what I'll do with the board for this new loop yet, considering that the end of the episode seems to indicate that we're going back to the beginning of the same loop. Maybe I'll just make another Loop 19 Redux or something. Well, anyway, those were my notes. On to comments. Alright, first off, we have from the Patreon, Sage Bastion, from the episode The Final Problem. For this, I'm pretty proud of myself. Haha, I almost guessed it perfectly. With my first guess, minus Shigemichi was not the Doctor, but Gina. Actually, Yuri realized why Remnant was a Gnosia because of a simple thing. Why would Remnant vote for Yuri? Even so, Rakio claimed Doctor. If he was the real Doctor, he would be sure that Rakio was lying. And I think it's that realization because we focus at first on the vote of Remnant, who targeted Yuri. I mean, well, we just went over it, so no reason to go back over it again. It's the element that the Gnosia wouldn't have voted for themselves. I mean, we keep making these rules because they've been pre-existing rules before, but the element that the Gnosia are now breaking those rules, like, why would two Gnosia be the same role? Well, in this instance, it's because there's no actual Doctor, so they're kind of throwing each other under the bus with the assumption that the one who doesn't get thrown under the bus is going to be clear for the rest, which, not a bad assumption. But they're still not going to vote for each other, which means that anyone who voted for Yuri didn't vote for the Gnosia. So then you can only take from those three. Well, Rakio is one of them. We took Rakio out, leaving Jonas and Remnant. Jonas is so fucking clearly the AC follower that it doesn't even matter anymore, leaving Remnant. So, yeah, I mean, we were both on board here. I even said, my thing was that I said somebody else, and then Remnant was my second, and we cleared the other person, so I'd be in the same boat still. I just wouldn't think to lie about it. I would say, this is what I did, and this is why I think it's them. I wouldn't have just jumped to a lie. Probably then that's what I would have lost, though, because Jonas probably would have swayed everybody. And lastly, we have JL from 15-Person Meeting. Comment time. Yuriko describing the AC follower as a true lunatic. I'm not 100% on this, but I was told by someone else that this is a reference to what the role is called in regular Japanese werewolf games. Who did the guardian angel protect? Good question, because Otomi being the only confirmed human around when no one had claimed a role put a pretty obvious target on her back, but some characters are just really bad at being GA. Oh, Guardian Angel. I don't know why I couldn't figure out that abbreviation. The best angels have high logic because that means that they can guess who the Gnosia will attack. Well, unless the Gnosia are really stupid. I mean, you'd think that they would have protected Otome. See, the problem is that you're 2 episodes back, and I've had a pretty harrowing mental week, and I don't particularly remember what I said before. But yeah, I would think, from what memory serves, they would protect Otome as the verified human. But at the same time, I guess the Gnosia can hit shot in the dark and hope to hit the actual doctor or engineer who have not identified themselves in the first day, right? So it's what, like probably a 30-something% chance to hit the doctor or the engineer versus just a human who, by the way, has no more information than anybody else. Rakio's face. They're so expressive. Well, a lot of the characters in this anime are, but Rakio has some good expressions, lol. Well, yeah, I mean, because they're painted up. Their expressions are heightened by, everything around their eyes and everything around their mouth, or the chin, rather. So when their eyes go super wide, they look a little bit more because of that. And I don't think anyone else has that going on for them. Not as much to say this time, but I'm glad we get this two-parter because I think giving the viewer an opportunity to speculate is really fun. I mean, that's legitimately what I said at the very beginning of the entire show, that I hope that we got more of this, more multi-episode figure it outs. It's what I wanted to do back when I said I wanted to watch Detective Conan. It's the element that I don't pause react. I hate pause reacting. So, the element that Detective Conan figures everything out in the episode. I'd have to pause when we go to commercial break and try to figure it out before the end of the episode, which would break the flow too. The next episode's episode 15, The Final Problem, title is kind of weird though. It's the same as an in-game Raku event about an entirely different role. A lot of people are hoping they do actually adapt the game event, The Final Problem, because it's kind of important story-wise and had a really iconic Rakio scene. Briefly before the episode came out, we thought maybe they were adapting this event in a loose way, where they just give the info to another character, or just skip half of the event, but luckily they haven't done that, so there's still a chance we get to see it properly adapted. Also, the second/final half of the Rakio voice drama CD came out this week. It was good, but Rakio fans are still nervous about if it exists solely as a consolation prize for our favorite bird having their best scenes cut. I mean, it's not impossible that someday I could play the game. So, at that point, I guess the only thing I'd be missing out on is the VA, right? That the voice actor isn't the same voice actor. Well, I'm assuming that the visual novel doesn't have a voice actor, in fact. That is the benefit of some of these things. My favorite visual novel, and again, I'm not spoiling what it is, had at one point a YouTube project centered around it, with a bunch of people trying to voice act all of the roles for all of the things and just make it a YouTube version of the visual novel. So that was great back in the day. No reason a bunch of fans on YouTube couldn't do the same thing for Gnosia, assuming that it isn't voice acted. And if it is completely voice acted, then what the fuck do I know? Anyway, those were the comments. We've done the board, we've done my notes. Nothing left to do but to hop on in and see what we get.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button.
Comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
I believe Yuriko should be here. No, we didn't wake up at the same spot.
またループしたっていうことか。でも
よくわかりましたね。
僕も騙されていたよ。今日の会議の途中まで。
でもエンジニアとして
So are we warping back to the end of day 1?
残念だけど、人間だって嘘をつくんだ。
まさか
レムナンをコールドスリープにし、僕は生き残ってグノーシアの排除に成
Because
功
Yuri
した。
always wakes up in the pod.
真実を知るのは容易なことではありません。
If this is the end of day one, then she's already gone.
それを成し遂げたら全てを教えましょう。
ユリコに会いに行けということなのか、それともまだ満ちてはいないのか。
I mean, if his is close to full, then means Setsu's is already full.
ユーリ
Which means we're encountering non-looping Setsus.
今みんなで食堂でご飯食べてるんだけど、来ない？
Okay. The problem here is, if this is the same loop, with no changes, that is clearly Gnosia Comet. Well, I mean, I say it's a problem. It's not so much a problem. It's just, that's the concern, right? So I'm just trying to glance down at my notes again. Because I do not remember the order of events. And this is the benefit of it. Let's see, I marked Yuri as the engineer, but if this is... See, the fact he wakes up in his bed makes me think that this is post a bunch of stuff from day one. But they never went to the cafeteria. So that's an event that just doesn't happen during that. Hey, maybe this is your chance for the thing that y'all wanted to see happening. That we're doing the same loop again, but the things that you guys wanted to see will be in this time. See, Yuriko and Otome were in guard duty, Comet and Rakio was in Gnosia. I just don't think I wrote these down in the order that they happened in. I think I just collected them all together. Shigemichi would be the second one who got frozen. Otome and Gina got eliminated first, which would mean that Gina was the first one to get eliminated because she was the doctor. Then Otome the day after. So yeah, if we see anybody, we'll be able to tell by what day it is. Well, there's Gina. So this is pre-warp day one.
ユーリ、
おう、もう大丈夫なのか？結構な怪我だったんだろ？
ああ、
はみ出してたもんな。
おいおい、飯の時にグロい話すんなよな。
Wait, is this a loop where Yuri didn't get injured and put in the pod? Or, I mean, they just say he was injured, but...
ポッドに運ばれて治療を受けて。そういえばポッドじゃなかった。
Yeah,
いつもはループすると医療ポッドで目覚めるの。
I said that too.
ユーリ
I've
も
said it many times before.
説に。
そうだよ。説がいなかったら僕らうまくルーアンから脱出できずに絶対グノーシアに汚染されてたよ。
俺だって説には感謝してんだぜ。
Wait, are we implying that nobody's infected this time?
ねえねえ、シャーミン助けたの失敗だったんじゃない？
かもな。
グノーシアに汚染。
何何？
いや、その会議は。
会議？
何の？
No one's infected by the Gnosia.
なんでもない。
ユーリ、もしかして記憶異常とか起こしてるんじゃない？名前わかる？
あ、いや、大丈夫。SQ だよね。
おう、さすがラブリーユーリ。
ごめん、ちょっとトイレ。会議が開か
So,
れない。
is Yuriko
そもそも
here?
会議が何なのかさえみんな知らない。
This is definitely not Loop 19 again.
デビー、
はい、ご用でしょうか？
この船にグノーシア反応はあるの？
いえ、ございません。セツ様の迅速な誘導により、この船はグノーシア汚染から逃れました。
Did Setsu sacrifice themselves? Because I don't see them in the cafeteria
グ
either.
ノーシア汚染者がいない世界線。ここに真実が。
何度も言わせないでほしいんだけど、グリーズ方面に航路を設定するのが一番効率的なのは明白じゃないか。
ラキオさん、もういいですから。
I mean, opportune time to get some conversation in with Rakio. They never last long enough. Well, there's Setsu.
軍の人間である説の意見も聞こう。
何？
私はルーアンの現状をしかるべき機関に連絡するために ここからほど近い軍事基地に向かうべきだと愚行するが。
まさしく空港だよ。軍なんかに捕まったら報告だの検査だの、どれだけ拘束されるか知れたものじゃないだろう。
とまあこの通りさ。
なるほど。セツさんが決めてくれたらいいと思うの。喧嘩しないで済むし。
I mean, technically, Jonas should be the one to decide. He's the captain.
基地に立ち寄る必要はないだろう。よろしいのですか？青函航行場の規定によれば、グノシア汚染が発生した場合、速やかに。この船に非汚染者はいない。よって規定に従う必要もない。
これは驚いたね。
What if there's an AC follower, but no Gnosia?
ならばぜひもなし。ラキオの希望通り、グリー
Because that would mean they would just be out for setting chaos
ラキオさん
with no
礼など
meetings.
いらないよ。僕はさっさとグリーゼに戻りたいだけさ。
いえ、分かってるんです。もし基地に行けば、僕は不法に逃げてきたことがバレて拘束されるから。
ここにいる全員が同意する。
Ran away unlawfully.
レムナ、君相当に気持ち悪いよ。
ジョナスさん、もしグリーゼに行くなら途中で吉門さんのところに。
無論構わんとも、これも多少の縁だ。全員希望の地に送り届けてやろうよ。
So I was just thinking that in the background of the scene where Remnant looked all unhappy, Otomi was just grinning in the back.
ユーリ、何か気になる？
え？いや、違うよ。僕もそれでいいと思う。グノーシア汚染者が存在しない。
See, I would talk to Setsu just to see if they're still looping.
この世界にループの謎が本当に隠されているのか。むしろみんなが
I mean, you haven't even confirmed if everyone is in this loop or not. I didn't see a Kakushra. Or a Yuriko. Well, there's Kakushra, never mind. Or a Yuriko.
もうすぐ何か始まるの？宇宙が終わる？
How do you read that? I was reading goodbye.
何があるって言うんだ？この宇宙に。
医務室付近で異常生体反応。繰り返します。医務室付近で異常生体反応を検知しました。
異常生体反応。
I guess it's like a universal sign language that I'm unfamiliar with in this universe.
これはわからない。レビの話によるとありえない生体反応だと言うんだ。認識プログラムにエラーが起きたか、あるいは何かが紛れ込んだのか。
行ってみよう。
Pretty shit of Levi's sensors to not have detected it until now.
反応があるのはユーリが治療を受けていたポット付近みたいなんだ。
Is it gonna be a second Yuri?
心配ないよ。ここはグノーシア汚染者がいない世界線だ。嘘をつく必要はない。もしかしたらグノーシアがいない代わりに何かが紛れ込んだのかもしれない。
説、目覚めてない。
え？
今回のループで僕はこの中のポットで目覚めてないんだ。
ショー。
わからないけど。
Again, we haven't spotted Yuriko yet.
でも、
いや、ありえない。銀の鍵は宿り主の意識を過去にループさせるんだ。肉体を過去に飛ばしたら同じ人間が2人存在することになってしまう。
No, what I did, I said that. Yuri, two Yuris.
そもそもループなんて成立しなくなる。
けど、じゃあ、この中にいる生体反応は
Are we going with the two of the same thing can't occupy the same space at the same time?
生体反応は
Yuri's gonna touch himself and it's gonna destroy the universe.
体。いや、このポットで眠っているのは一体。
わからないよ。けど
疑うな。恐れるな。そして知れ。
Legitimately,
全ては知ることです。
Yuri should throw himself out the airlock real quick.
昔ユーリがそう言ってくれたよね。
昔僕が。
私もそう思う。私たちは
I think that also implies that they're not traveling in the same loops, like I previously said as well.
治療が終わったみたいだ。
Again, rush out the fucking airlock before you touch him. Oh, it's just a knowledge thing. This is Back to the Future level shit. I think it's Back to the Future too. The idea that she would see herself and the whole universe would get destroyed.
ここは
ひどく不安定な世界のようだね。
説。
どうやら宇宙消滅の余波でこんな世界に飛ばされてしまったらしい。長くは持たないだろうね。
宇宙消滅。
Yeah, but it's one universe in a line of universes. That's the multiverse.
恐れるな。全ては知ることで救われる。
説。嫌だ。
Well, way to go.
安心なさい。ここは無も有もない世界。存在そのものがあやふやな場所。
Oh, is this what cyberization is? Oh. I thought that was going to be Yuriko manifesting.
ユリコ。
Never mind, there I am again.
ましたか？これが真実です。
わかるわけないよ。一体何がどうなってるんだ。宇宙が消滅って。
因果率の崩壊です。お前という本来ありえない存在が宇宙を崩壊させた。すべてはお前が元凶なのです。
Oh, really, the Silver Key is the cause of all
そう
this.
です。なぜお前に記憶がないのか。
記憶喪失だから。
本当は
I think I've actually asked about this before, too.
記憶なんてなかった。
そう、お前はあの瞬間に生まれたもう一人のユーリ。本物のユーリとは別に作られた偽物。
Yeah, but every version of him has been without memory.
本来この世界、この宇宙にとっての異物、決して存在してはならないバグなのです。
It's a weird way to put that.
どうかしたのか？
Is this back when we first had this conversation?
説。
それでどこに行くつもりなんだ？
どこって。
遊びに行こうって言ったのはユーリだぞ。
Oh, fucking weird. Are we just going back through our old memories? Did you just destroy another universe? I feel like we've gone from Gnosia into the Stanley parable.
理解しましたか？己が作られた存在だということを。お前は本物とは別に作られたバグという存在だから。
本物のユーリと出会うと宇宙が崩壊する。
でも今までは崩壊しなかった。
Never ran into the real Yuri
繰り
before.
返してきたのに、こんな風になったことは今まで一度も。
わからないの？
なぜそうならなかったのか。
偶然ならなかったのではない。なりようがなかったのだ。
Well, I mean, the Silver Key has been guiding.
一人だったから。よく考えてみなよ。今までと今回何が違っていたか
わかるはずです。
The Gnosia?
クノーシア汚染者がいない。
さすがユリチ。そこまで来たらわかると思うけどな。
クノーシア汚染者がいないと人が襲われない。
正解です。ユーリさんさすがです。
だりーな。あとは自分で言えよ。
そうか。クノーシア汚染者がいる世界線では、ここで眠っていた本物の僕は最初に消滅していた。
その通りです。
This is a lot of shit that I've been asking about from early on. The why is Yuri always wake up in the pod and all that stuff.
同じポットの中にバグであるあなたが誕生した。
あとはお前はバグとして何度もこの瞬間にループしていたってわけだ。
Is that why Setsu asked that question at the very start?
グノーシア汚染者がいない世界線では本物のユーリが襲われない。つまり消滅することなく残ってしまう。そこに君がさっきみたいにループして戻ってくると、本物のユーリとバグのユーリ、二人が同時に存在することになる。いわゆる
Oh hey, return to the female Yuri.
それは因果率の崩壊であり、宇宙を崩壊させてしまうんだ。
もう分かったでしょ。先ほどのようなグノーシア汚染者がいない世界線に到達すれば、お前は必ずもう一人のユーリと出会い、宇宙は崩壊する。
I mean, you can still just avoid him. Apparently, you've got free will up until you actually meet the other Yuri.
世界線でしか存在できない。
So hell. Essentially, we're saying you exist in hell.
真実。
そういうことです。
なぜそんなこと。
Conversely, you're also giving actual Yuri a second chance.
何が目的だ。
私にそんなことをする力があるとでも？お前を生み出したのはグノースです。バグを意図的に作り出すなど、グノースにしかなし得ない。
Why is Nas infecting people with Gnosia if it can create universe-ending shit?
人の意識の集合体、混沌の中で一つの意識を持ったもの。
You guys really need to fucking read the book Eon. I've mentioned it before. This is fucking Eon. To a different degree.
神となりうる存在に与えられたもの。
神。
人の英知の集合体、すべての判断を委ねることができる究極の意志。その意志がお前を生み出した。もしかしたら測っているのかもしれません。
Sorry, at this point, I'm just holding back telling you guys all about Eon and how this is exactly Eon.
グノースのように一つの大きな意識が支配する宇宙。どちらに価値があるのか。僕はどうすれば。そう、
Again, any universe where you're created and there's not a previously existing Yuri or the previously existing Yuri is already dead, you have the chance to succeed and then continue to exist.
あの光の中でグノースに触れた私が知ったことをあとを見届けることにします。
This certainly just fucking changes the entire game again. I think we've gone for like 4 game-changing moments. Well, you woke up in the bed. Just throw yourself out the airlock.
コメト、今みんなで食堂でご飯食べてるんだけど、来ない？いや、後で行くよ。
Or run up on Comet and give her a big old fucking hug. That'll kill you too. Didn't learn anything, huh? Gotta do it a second time? Okay. Let me tell you about Eon. Book from the 80s, by the way, so it's not copying this at all. Oh, man, I'm gonna be listening to the new song, too, in my own time. Again, I gotta talk to over it anyway. Eon. World War III happens, and humanity survives a little bit, puts ourselves into an asteroid, sends the asteroid off to the next planet to, colonize another planet, whatever. That's just a setup. There is a 7th... God, I'm going to skip all this. I'm going to skip all this because the setup is great, but you guys don't care. That's not the point. There's a race called the Jart. And the Jart basically digitize everything they come across, which destroys it. Sorry, I don't know what that said. I feel like there's clues here in the ending credits. Probably there are. I can't focus on that because I can't take notes about that right now. The Jart digitize everything the same way as cyberization works here. And the Jart do it specifically for a merged consciousness at the end of reality that they consider God. So essentially, everything they cyberize, all the knowledge that they gather, all the people that they cyberize, all come together at the end of time as one merged entity that they refer to as God. Nas, same thing. Cyberized everything, merged into one entity, which is a god. And not for nothing, the Eon sequel, I can't remember the name of it right now. It's proven to be true because a couple of main characters get cyberized or digitized or whatever you want to call the Jart thing. This is that. I mean, it might have been a concept before Eon. Eon is such a fucking good novel. You guys, you should read Eon if you like this. Keep in mind, Eon is hard sci-fi, though. It's not. Anyway. God, I'm prepared for this because I've already encountered this when I was younger in novel form. At the same time, the element that Yuri is a creation of Nas. Oh, God. There's the element I'm going to have to come back to on this is, did they say why Nas is creating Yuri? I mean, we get the element that Yuri can only exist in the timelines where original Yuri gets killed and Gnosia exists. Are they implying that Nas is also the Silver Key? Because if that's the case, then we're not trying to gather information anymore, right? Well, I guess unless Nas is the Jart thing I just talked about, right? That they're trying to collect information to send to that greater intelligence at the end of time. That Yuri only exists to gather information for Nas could be the thing. Again, I could see where this could like break some people mentally. The element that if you didn't have any preconceived notion of what's going on here, like I said before, Stanley Parable, right? This is some shit that I would expect to see playing the game Stanley Parable. Yeah, I guess I'm really gonna have to re-examine the connections because, as I said before, this is really just changing the entirety of Gnosia once again. Because before, it was playing the Gnosia game. Not Gnosia game. Before it was defeating the Gnosia, right? And then we went to, okay, now it's about gathering as much information about everyone as possible to finish the key. And then it became, we need to gather as much information as possible to finish the key to then defeat the Gnosia as to leave the people who are going to be trapped in that loop, or not trapped in that loop, the people that are already existing in that loop, not in a horrible space once we finish. And now it's this bug thing. Now we're a bug. I have to wonder now if we're even going to continue being Yuri. Not as in someone else becomes the main thing, but I mean, is Bug Yuri going to continue to be the main Yuri? Or are we going to follow, well, we can't be other Yuri. Other Yuri only exists in loops where there's no Gnosia, and I don't feel like we're going to... It's the oddity, right? We've only been female Yuri once. Even though there's an infinite number of times we could go back to that, because I don't think we gathered all the information on what life experience is from female Yuri. But immediately we jumped back into a no Gnosia loop after a no Gnosia loop. What are the odds of that? I mean, I'll be honest, true randomness is... Real randomness doesn't seem as random as it would occur, right? If I dealt you a card from a 52 card deck, and then you gave the card back, and I shuffled it up, and I dealt you the same exact card, you would say, that's not random, that's two in a row. How would you know that's not random, though? Yeah. I don't know. I think I have to come back with notes on this, because this was a real mindfuck, because just unexpected. Well, unexpected for me, because I didn't play the game. But I mean, just unexpected from the conceit of, I thought we were going back to the beginning of the previous loop, or the same loop, rather, to deal with Yuriko and whatever the fuck she was up to. And it turns out, again, we're going to my favorite sci-fi novel. Greg Bear, by the way, in case you were wondering, because the author of Eon does a lot of great sci-fi novels, but I'm recommending Eon to everybody now, so it's part of the Way series. I think there's 3 books in the Way series, but Eon's the first one. Yeah, I'm sorry. I think I've rambled enough here. The element is I do just have to go back and rewatch to take my notes on it, because otherwise I don't really have anything else to say. I can't give you the depth that the show was trying to give in this. So, yeah, I mean, back next time with notes. So until then, once again, I have been Theta. This has been Stoneface Reactions. And until next time, bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?